Today's episode is sponsored by Castrol, one of the world's leading lubricant brands. Visit them at castrol.com.
Aerospace and defense manufacturing.
Machines and automation.
Additive manufacturing.
Smart manufacturing.
The global manufacturing economy.
Welcome to Advanced Manufacturing Now, the podcast for manufacturing professionals, powered by SME. From the design screen to the shop floor to final assembly, we drive the conversation about making manufacturing smarter by connecting people who are passionate about manufacturing.
Hello, and welcome to Advanced Manufacturing Now, the podcast for manufacturing professionals. I'm your host, Steve Plum, Editor-in-Chief for SME Media. I'm joined today by Maria Veronica Johnston, Heinrich Hebe, and Carolyn Bongard from Castrol. Maria Veronica is the company's Growth Units and Insights Manager, Heinrich is the Business Development Manager, and Carolyn is the Sustainability Accounting Manager. The topic today is sustainability and the circular economy in regards to re-refined base oils. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. So, Carolyn, could you kick us off and give us a big picture overview about Castrol's sustainability strategy?
Sure, Steve. So at Castrol, we've developed a holistic program to help accelerate the move to a more sustainable future, which we call Path 360. Path 360 has three focus areas: saving waste, reducing carbon, and improving people's lives. Today, we're going to focus on saving waste and reducing carbon. So for saving waste, we're continuing to help our customers and the users of our products towards their sustainability goals related to energy, waste, water, and carbon. For example, when it comes to our packaging, we are reducing the amount of virgin plastic we use per liter of product sold. Reducing carbon is the second focus area of our Path 360 strategy. Many of our commercial customers are looking to take action in relation to carbon emissions in their value chains, and Castrol is supporting these aims with the development of lower carbon offers, for example, by using re-refined base oil in our formulations.
So, Carolyn, you just mentioned a re-refined base oil. So, in addition to being a tongue twister, Henry, can you elaborate a little bit more on this? What exactly is re-refined base oils?
Yeah, awesome question. And maybe to take a step back, if you think about lubricants that we manufacture for now 125 years, then actually the main component of a lubricant is the base oil. So usually that's something between kind of 70 and 80%, maybe up to 90% of the product is actually base oil. Today, if we look at the lubricant value chain, then actually the majority of base oil in our product is coming from virgin base oil, something that we call it virgin base oil. It's basically crude oil that comes out of the ground and then goes through a refining process and then finally ends up in our products. So we then mix the base oil with additives and it gives you kind of a lubricant. In the manufacturing world, for example, a hydraulic oil or a gear oil that you would use in manufacturing processes. What happens with those kind of products, they are being used, and what is actually breaking down and what is kind of actually being used is the additive package in those lubricants. But the base oil molecules are basically kind of remaining intact and are remaining in good quality. So there is a possibility through a process that we call re-refining to actually collect or take collected used oil, put it through the process, kind of clean, filtrate, and even do hydrotreating to the used oil to get back a really high quality base oil at the end of the process. And this kind of re-refined base oil we can at the end of this process use again in high performing lubricants and kind of make the value chain more or less circular. So the used oil goes around in circles. That's not 100% possible. In some cases we lose some of it, but we're trying the best to use as much of the used oil again in our products again. What actually happens in the kind of re-refining process is that you need less energy to actually do the re-refining versus the extraction of crude oil and then the crude oil refining. And by using less energy to go through the process, you can actually see in the numbers we measure and we see, and we work with our suppliers on those, that there is less carbon associated with re-refined base oils. And actually the kind of global warming potential of re-refined base oils are reduced versus a virgin base oil, which kind of helps the sustainability strategy that Carolyn just described.
It sounds like a lot of great potential and benefits. Is there a limit to how often base oil can be re-refined and reused?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and we actually get this question quite often. So actually, when you look at base oil, kind of base oil molecules to describe it in a little easier way, then you can use those base oil molecules as often as we want. So we have done this in our laboratories and tested those kind of base oil molecules many times, and that process works quite well. But still, this kind of re-refining process is not 100% efficient. So there is a certain yield loss that we see. So it's not infinitive and kind of it goes in circle forever. So there is some yield loss that we see, but those base oil molecules from a kind of re-refining perspective, we can use as many times as possible.
Great. And is there any difference in the quality between the virgin and re-refined base oils?
Yeah, it's also a good question, and maybe to also take a step back. So when we in Castrol actually develop products, it is a lengthy and a year-long kind of a process where our global technology teams in all across the world working on kind of product development programs. And obviously all the raw materials, all the base oil, the additives that we use in our products go through a kind of lengthy testing, development, and approval process to actually be qualified for our end product. So there's no compromise ever in Castrol when it comes to product quality. So that's the first goal. So and the same principle that we use for virgin base oil based lubricants, we also apply for those which have re-refined base oils. So we basically do not see any kind of products where we put re-refined base oil in. We don't see any quality difference, or we would not accept any quality difference. Yeah, so it's a very similar performance between a re-refined base oil and a virgin base oil. And even the API, the American Petroleum Institute, has a standard where they're actually also stating the same, that it's kind of from a chemical property perspective, same or kind of similar quality base oils that can kind of go into lubricants as virgin base oils can or normally are going into. Yep. So basically, the base oils have the same quality, and they're going through exactly the same product development and quality assurance process within Castrol as any other raw material would as well.
Thanks. And so sounds like basically the same characteristics, the same quality. Veronica, what about performance? Are you seeing any degradation in performance?
I mean, that's an interesting question, right? When we talked about the base oils that we put in there having similar qualities, but we also think about the finished goods. And how Henrik explained it, right? We have at Castrol very strict quality process and testing, right? So we will not allow any decrease in performance of the finished goods with any changes on our raw materials. So we have invested significantly in research and development to make sure that the lower carbon footprint lubricants have the same level of performance. And we measure performance in different ways, right? The performance comes in viscosity control, oxidation, cleanliness. There are multiple performance parameters. We also have in our range of engine oils and hydraulics, we have extended drains, and we make sure that the new products meet or exceed the current extended drains that we have promised to our customers. And how do we know that these products have the same performance? So not only through bench and engine testing that we have done, but we also have done extensive field testing with some of the toughest conditions in the industry, right? And the results that we have seen consistently is the same high performance that customers would expect from Castrol. To give you an example, Castrol Vecton, which is one of our premium heavy-duty engine oils, it's now part of the more circular offer, and we have tested it and seen the same performance, and these tests have been over 37,000 hours of very strict and harsh field testing.
Wow, that's quite a long time. So you mentioned more circular, which is a great name, by the way. But can you tell us, listeners, a little bit more about what that is exactly?
Yes. Okay. So more circular is a lower carbon footprint lubricants program, right? It's an end-to-end offer where we provide customers with lower carbon footprint lubricants, but also includes the collection of the oil. And the collection of the oil is something that is a very important component of this offer. To give you an example, in the US, only 20% of the used oil is being re-refined. And how we heard from Henrik, re-refining is the lowest carbon intensive way of processing the used oil. So what we offer is the collection and the delivery of lower carbon footprint, and we have developed this offer for our business partners, right? So business customers. Today, we have heavy-duty engine oils, we have hydraulic fluids, and those products are available now to help our business partners or business customers reduce and help with their sustainability goals, reduce their carbon emissions. So in the future, and we're working now, we are planning to include other industrial lubricants such as neat cutting oil and forming oils, and they will be added to the more circular portfolio pretty soon. So we talked about the collection part of this offer. The collection that more circular offers is anywhere in the continental US. It's available, right? And we are offering some of the best-in-class services for collection. So I think it's important to explain, and Henrik and Caroline went a bit into the re-refining process, but when used oil is reprocessed into re-refining, about 70% of that used oil is recovered into base oil. And then that recovered oil is combined with the Castrol cutting-edge technology then to blend the premium lubricants that will perform at these highest levels.
So we talked a little bit about how it works, but what are some of the primary applications for re-refined base oils in the industry right now?
Yeah, let me take this question, and thanks for asking. So we have launched, as we just explained, the more circular offer, and we have added kind of the first products to the more circular kind of product range. That means that we're trying to integrate kind of carbon footprint reduced base oils or re-refined base oils into those products. That's not always kind of a full replacement, but we're trying what is technically possible to meet all the quality standards that we have talked about earlier. So we started to look at heavy-duty diesel engine oils. So that's one category. We looked into kind of conventional entry-level car engine oils, PCO products. But now, as we're talking about manufacturing, we also looked into hydraulic oils. So kind of those hydraulic oils, which are normally used in big quantities in manufacturing processes, are also available with a kind of reduced or lower product carbon footprint already today. And for us, this is a journey. So the journey started with this kind of scope of the portfolio. But we're looking to kind of further go through the portfolio and looking at more product categories and see what we can do with carbon reduced raw materials in those products. To give you one example is, for example, gear oils that are also frequently used in industrial applications, or also metalworking fluid or neat oils. Yeah, so several applications that you would see within a manufacturing site.
It sounds like I have a lot more in the works. I already introduced several formulations, but how long have you been working on the technology overall?
Yeah, many years. So the testing has been done, and our technology team worked with different RRBOs and re-refined base oils and different kind of technologies for years and has done testing. And also the quality and working with our partners have improved those qualities by a lot over the last year. So now I think we got to a point where we feel really confident about the quality, but it took years to get there. And this is also not only a kind of North America program, but we as Castrol and as Carolyn talked about it, we have a global sustainability strategy. Yeah, so we are looking at circularity and also reducing the carbon footprint of our products in all our key markets. And also those experience that we gather from those markets are all kind of come together on a global level to then kind of make the best product decision and sustainability decision for our portfolio.
Thanks, Heinrich. So to wrap things up, can you kind of summarize some of the key benefits that we talked about, especially pertaining to Castrol More Circular?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, just to emphasize again, we're really, really excited to kind of have launched this offer now. And I think also great to see that yeah, we're looking both at the product portfolio, but also how do we kind of solve for the end of the life cycle of those products. And to talk about those kind of key benefits of our product portfolio, or the kind of more circular service offer. First of all, through integrating re-refined base oils, we can reduce the carbon footprint of our products. And therefore, yeah, the overall carbon footprint of all the lubricants that are part of the programs kind of are being reduced versus those products which have virgin base oil included. Secondly, as we talked about it, we also combine those kind of lower carbon footprint products with used oil collection. So it is one integrated offer that we want to offer. And obviously, the collection services that we kind of offer are kind of top in the industry, great service level, standard terms across the continental US, and also a responsible collection because we are ensuring that as much as possible for kind of used oil, which has good quality, is going into the re-refining process. And the third advantage is that it is an integrated offer. It's a one-stop solution. So it is the combination between the product piece, where Castrol put a lot of the investment into the technology work, into developing and improving those products, combined with the collection in one integrated offer, and to have a one-stop solution for business customers in the continental US to make their lubricants portfolio more circular.
Thanks, Heinrich. A lot of great information. Thanks again to yourself and Carolyn and Maria Veronica. Been very insightful conversation. Obviously, sustainability is a critical issue and it will remain so for the foreseeable future. I'm sure we'll be hearing more from Castrol in the future on this. We appreciate all of you taking the time out of your schedule to talk with us. If listeners want to learn more about Castrol and its sustainability efforts, where should they go?
Yeah, good question. So we have a website. So on castrol.com, you can find everything if you search for More Circular. And even if you Google it, More Circular, Castrol More Circular, you will find all the information. If you want to go get in touch with us directly, we have a dedicated email address for this offer, and it's called castrolmorecircular@castrol.com. And you will get kind of directly to the team working on the offer, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Yeah, looking forward to any conversations on this important topic.
Thanks. And to learn more about the latest manufacturing trends and hear more podcasts, visit us at advancedmanufacturing.org.